Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Logan, the drunken metalhead who muses, and today I am recovering from a recent stream that I did with Brian Arkham from Brian Arkham YouTube channel, where we essentially highlighted two Weedian compilations that were released, showcasing the best of stoner doom from our respective states. So I discussed a lot of stoner doom albums from the state of North Carolina. Brian talked about all the stoner doom from Illinois. It was a fun stream. I'll link it below if you want to check it out. But one of the consequences of said stream was me realizing that I didn't own enough of these great albums from these awesome bands. So I picked up a couple, and I kind of wanted to showcase and highlight some of the ones that I felt like I missed or didn't focus enough time on during that stream. Let's crack open a beer and dive headfirst into some killer stoner doom and sludge. Alright, so first off, the beer that I'm going to be drinking is called Sticky Crystals from Sycamore Brewing here in Charlotte. This was kind of the flagship beer from that stoner stream. It's a heavy-duty 7% IPA with all the right amount of skunky aroma, and it just fits perfect for down-tuned, pissed-off music. So let me wrap up this pour, and cheers! So the first band I want to talk about is Night Mother. And I mean, this just looks like a black album cover. Here's the back of it. And there you can see that the album's name is Sacrament. This is a album that Brian turned me on to from the stream. So this is an Illinois band out of Peoria. And this shit is killer. It's like a two-piece. They describe themselves as melancholic doom. There's definitely a lot of atmosphere here, a lot of slow and sluggish riffage. Definitely diving into that Minsk kind of sound to highlight another band from the Illinois scene. I would say equal parts like post-metal and sludge. Really, it's nice and drawn out, and there's a lot of room for the music to breathe. It's also absolutely savage in the vocal department. I think in the vocal department, there's also some Neurosis vibes for sure. There's vocal trade-offs between these almost hardcore-like screams and just a bare bellowing. So that makes me think of Through Silver and Blood Neurosis. Killer dynamics too. From time to time, they throw in sound clips that I really appreciate. In fact, opening song Wrath starts with a killer clip from The Two Towers, Lord of the Rings. It's Theoden and Aragorn talking right before they go into battle, I believe. They're going for the Red Dawn. So definitely check out Night Mother. And this is their debut, Sacrament. And now we've switched the band and the music. We are now in North Carolina, focusing on one of the bands off of the NC Weedian Comp. This is Holy Roller with their debut LP, Swimming Witches. So I actually saw these guys recently, which is where I got the CD, when they opened up for the Atomic Bitchwax and Nebula. It was great seeing them live. They put on a great hard rock oriented show, and they really brought like a wall of sound. They performed as a 5-piece, and you could definitely tell that the guitar tone was just perfect for this kind of music. So yeah, these guys are out of Winston-Salem, which is right in the middle of the state, right in between our capital city of Raleigh and where I'm at, Charlotte. And I would definitely say they're paying homage to a style of stoner and hard rock, really, that's more kind of focused on that, like, the tail end of the 2000s sludge scene, you know? Think like later era Mastodon, like Blood Mountain. Think Baroness around the Blue album. Think Red Fang for sure. And sprinkling a little more hard rock in there too. It's a great, catchy album with killer guitar solos, which I have to highlight some of the guests that they have on these guitar solos. There's the guitarist from Soilwork, and I believe he was just featured on that song right there. They also got Kieran from Battlecross on a song, and then they also have Greg from Allegaon on a song. So cool guest spots as far as guitar solos go, and you can definitely tell there was a lot of focus in making this a guitar-oriented album. But it's definitely catchy. I would highly recommend this opening song, Atheist Prayer. But really, you can't go wrong with any of the songs off this album. So definitely check out Holy Roller. Alright, next band we're talking about. This is kind of one of my favorite finds from this whole stream that we did. It's essentially fucking sludge royalty coming together to create one of the most rifftastic and pissed off versions of the North Carolina sludge sound that I've ever heard. This is Hail Hornet with their second album, Disperse the Curse. So yeah, this came out on Relapse, I want to say back in 2011, but definitely just a killer super group. You got T-Roy from Sour Vein on vocals and guitar, Dixie Dave Collins from Weed Eater and Buzz Oven on bass. You got Eric Larson from Alabama Thunder Pussy on drums, and Vince Burke from Beaten Back to Pure on guitars. So, I mean, this shit is absolutely savage. It doesn't care. It's like drugged out and drunk sludge metal. And not only that, but it's like this sludge sound taken to the most extreme version that it can be. I mean, the drums are just like rapid fire. The guitar riffs are hammering. It kind of tones down any kind of like bluesy aspects to it and just focuses in on being bruising, brawling album. I would highly recommend it. I mean, just listen to this shit. Okay, off of Disperse the Curse, we're jamming to the opening song, Shoot the Pigs, which definitely recommend that one. On top of that, you can't go wrong with Beast of Bourbon, track 5, and then the song that is featured on the comp is called Scars, and that's track 9. That's sold me on this album. Check it out. Alright, here we go. In my opinion, saving the best for last. We are now jamming to Void Word, and this is their self-titled debut album. And yeah, this is probably one of my favorite finds off of the Weedian comps so far. I absolutely adore this album, and I've been listening to it for probably about a month or two now, and it has not worn out its welcome. It's been in like kind of a steady rotation. Voidward is a power trio from Durham, North Carolina, and Yeah, self-released album came out last year. Absolutely killer stuff. Very much centered around scientific space exploration and, like, I guess the concept of the fate of man being void word. It really does a good job of balancing out its sound. It's very riff heavy and relies on like almost like a shoegazy kind of atmosphere, but at the same time it still is appropriately heavy. The vocals are also just extremely catchy, and they focus on repetition, but in a very like hooky way that just draws you in and makes these songs immediately stand out. Yeah, we're jamming to Apologize right now, which is the opening track. I definitely recommend that. Wolves is the song on the compilation, and that's killer too. But Oblivion, track 4, does a great job of slowing down their sound and making it a little more psychedelic and spaced out, and it's absolutely beautiful. And then I would also recommend the title track, which is also, of course, the name of the band, Void Word, which is probably them at their most progressive sounding. I mean, just check this tempo change and this riff change up right here. Yep, it's good stuff. Definitely check out Void Word, please. And that is it. There are still many bands that neither Brian or I have talked about from those compilations, but these are just a couple that I knew I left off and had to discuss. You know, they have a clear conscience, but also, you know, to make sure they're getting some attention. So please check out all these bands. Cheers to the 420 season. This is in spirit of that. And cheers to Weedian. Thanks for watching. Drink good beer, listen to good metal.